Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. This is Amirash and I welcome you to the third class of our CBSE Class in Chemistry chapter, Carbon and its Compounds. And the topic that we'll be discussing today is going to be Hydrocarbons and the Homologous series in depth. So today all the doubts related to hydrocarbons, alkanes, alkynes are going to be clarified. So watch this session till the very end. So let's get started. Now first thing people that you need to understand is the meaning of hydrocarbon. If I write over here hydrocarbon, what do I mean by this? Let's try to break it into two parts. Hydro and carbon. Hydro means hydrogen, right? I'm right. Yes. Carbon means carbon. It means I'm able to understand that the compounds which are going to contain carbon and hydrogen will form hydrocarbons. And that's it, that's the definition. The compounds containing hydrogen and carbon, or the compounds formed by the bonding of carbon and hydrogen, and which type of bond? A covalent bond. Those kind of compounds are going to be called as hydrocarbons. Now people, talking about the classification of hydrocarbons, there are three types of hydrocarbons. How many? Let's try to understand those three types. So hydrocarbons can be classified into three types: alkanes, alkenes, and the last group, alkynes. People, organic chemistry is very important for JEE and NEET also, so please keep these concepts super strong and crystal in your head. So alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes, these are the three types of hydrocarbons that we have to read about. Three types. What is the meaning of alkane? Let's try to understand. See, alkanes are the hydrocarbons in which carbon and hydrogen are bonded with a single bond. Now you'll ask me, what is the meaning of single bond? So basically single bond means that carbon and hydrogen are going to share only one pair of electrons. Sharing of one pair of electrons. Now one pair of electrons basically means two electrons. So over here two electrons are going to be shared. So they are going to be called as alkanes. And a very important thing that you have to note from here is that, try to understand, alkanes are known as saturated hydrocarbons. Please remember that. If they are asking us to draw the structure of alkanes, remember, they can also ask us draw the structure of saturated hydrocarbon. Then it means you are talking about alkanes. It should click your mind, right? Saturated basically means that they do not react often, right? They do not form much compounds. That is the thing basically that you need to understand, that reaction one is quite low. Okay, now let's talk about the structure and electron dot structure of alkanes. Number one point that you should understand is the general formula of alkanes. How do we write the formula of the compound? So the formula is CnH2n plus 2. What do I mean by that? Cn. What is the subscript over here? Carbon and a subscript. It means it is the number of carbons. N over here means number of carbon or hydrogen atoms constituting the compound. Right? Awesome. So Cn, carbon. If carbon is 1, if C is 1, how many hydrogen atoms are going to be needed? That will be 2n plus 2. It means 2 added to the twice of carbon atoms. So over here, if I want to calculate the number of hydrogen atoms, I'm going to be multiplying it with 2 with the number of carbon atoms and then adding 2. So number of carbon atoms are given to me, that is 1. So 2 into 1 plus 2. Here n is number of carbon atoms, sorry. Number of carbon atoms constituting the compound, right? So it is going to be CH, 2 plus 2, 4. So the first compound, first alkane is CH4. Nomenclature is going to be methane. It is known as methane. Am I right? It is known as methane. Now, how do we draw the structure of methane? That's very important, I told you. And in this way, you can find out the other compounds also. The alkane containing 2 carbon atoms. So C2H, 2 into 2, 4 plus 2, 6. C2H6, that is ethane. So I will make you write the series also. But before that, let's draw the structure. Okay. So I'm basically focusing on methane. I think I told you about methane in the previous session. So let us take up ethane. Ethane's formula is C2H6. That is clear to me. C2H6 is the formula of ethane. Now let's try to understand the difference between the normal structure and electron dot structure. So in normal structure, you just make a single dash for sharing for telling that these are the pair of electrons shared. Suppose if I have this carbon atom, 2 carbon atoms are there bonded with a single bond. So I told you in the previous session we will use a dash. And 6 hydrogens. So with this carbon, 1 hydrogen, this one hydrogen, this one hydrogen, this one, and this one. So this is the structure of ethane. See, every hydrogen is single bonded with the carbon. 3 hydrogens with the first carbon atom, 3 hydrogens with the second carbon atom, and 2 carbon atoms bonded with the single bond. That is the important concept to understand. So how many bonds are there? Let's calculate that. If in the question they are asking how many bonds, then how do we do that? That should be very clear to you. Number one point for calculating the number of bonds, you have to cancel out the dashes one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So ethane, this compound has 7 covalent bonds. Covalent meaning bonds by sharing of electrons. This dash means a shared pair. It means hydrogen is sharing 1 electron and carbon is sharing. So basically they are, if we talk in the ionic bond, there was the transfer of electrons. Here the electrons are common. They just come closer and it is between the shells of both the atoms. So in this way covalent bond takes place. Now if I want to make the electron dot structure of ethane, what will I do? I will write carbon. This is my carbon. It is going to be having 4 valence electrons, so I am representing that by X, electron dot structure. Now what I have to do, I have another carbon bonded with a single bond. It means 2 pair of electrons are going to be shared. I can write 1 cross over here because cross is representing the electrons of carbon. Remember that. Now what I can do, one electron over here. 4 electrons are there. 4 valence electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now attach hydrogen. For hydrogen, I am putting a dot. Hydrogen, attach the hydrogens which you attached over here. 1 over here for completing the valency. Now you have to take care of completing the valency. I am erasing this for 1 to put the hydrogen. I have done this one. Now let me see if I can take another color. Okay. Now what I have to do, understand that. Now first let's complete the duplet of hydrogen. This hydrogen has completed its duplet. Is it visible? Oh, okay. So what I can understand that this hydrogen has completed its duplet. This hydrogen has completed its duplet. This also. So 6 hydrogens are going to share their electrons with the carbon atoms, and carbon atoms are going to share 1 pair of electrons with each other. So 6 hydrogens have completed their duplet. Now talking about the octet of carbon. Now understand this one. Octet of carbon. Let's talk about this carbon atom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octet completed. Correct? This carbon atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octet completed. This is known as electron dot structure. We are representing with dot and cross. So it will be called as electron dot structure. This was about alkenes. Alkenes and alkynes will be done in the next class. But before that, let me give you the table of the compounds of alkenes. That is very important. Alkanes start with methane, then ethane. Ane is at the end. Nomenclature is not there in our syllabus. I'm just writing propane, butane, and the formulae will be made by you using this general formula. You all can make the formula. butane, pentane, and after that your shapes: pentagon, hexagon, hexane, heptane, octane. Till here only you need to remember. Now what I can see is if I write down their formulae, then the series formed by alkanes or alkynes is going to be termed as homologous series. Okay, I'll tell you the characteristics of homologous series in the next session on the PPT. Next session is going to be on the PPT. This was on the whiteboard. In the next session, what we're going to do is try to understand that. We'll do everything about alkenes and alkynes plus homologous series, and in the fifth session I'll talk about functional groups and isomerism. That is again an important topic for organic chemistry. If you people want to pursue organic chemistry in your future, these are the basic concepts which you should understand. I hope this session was useful. In the homework, what you're going to do is you will draw the electron dot structure of, let me write over here your homework for today, or your DPP. Some questions will be given to you. Question number 1 is draw. Is the pen visible? I think no, I will have to change it. Okay, let me write it once more. Draw electron dot structures of 1 pentane and octane with the formula. I'm going to draw them. And the second question, this is question number 1. Second question is that why are organic compounds poor conductors of electricity? It's an easy question. You can do both of them in your notebook if you've made a register. And it's time to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Bye bye.